Life is weirdly a lot harder than we've been told. And midlife? That's a whole other can of worms that I was completely unprepared for. What about you? But here's the good news. There are so many new skills and mindsets that we can learn to make even the toughest days a little bit better. You just haven't learned them. Welcome to Thrive with Kira, a smart and square podcast for women in midlife that teaches the skills to get more joy and love in your life. Join me weekly as I teach science-based, smarty-farty topics and break them down into bite-sized lessons that you can apply to your life, all while sharing my own shit show life stories that you can learn from. I'll be talking regularly about getting more joy on a daily basis, thriving in midlife, yes, you can, figuring out menopause, healthy dating and relationships, building self-worth, body positivity and neutrality, growth mindset, adult friendships, and also just easy mindfulness. So we can stop just surviving and start learning how to thrive. Welcome to Thrive. Fuck a duck. What? I'm not going to come on here cheery and be like, hey, business as usual, because I am personally devastated by the election results. I know that I'm not alone, and it's so vulnerable to talk about this on this podcast, and because I know there's people who disagree with me and everything else. And honestly, that shit's a bit hard. It really is. Because I'm here to talk about love. I'm here to create connection. I'm here to create community. I'm here to help people feel seen and heard. So it sucks to come on here and say things that may feel divisive. But I also do this podcast to speak my truth, to say things that a lot of us are thinking, but are sometimes too nervous to say, to bring strength, scripts, resources, tools to get through this life better and hopefully a little bit happier. But I also do this podcast to put new, positive, thoughtful, fierce, sweary, slightly feral thoughts out to this world. And if I'm going to walk my talk, then fuck a duck. I'm going to talk about what I'm feeling. I was in bed for a couple of days, guys. I didn't get out. I didn't get out of bed for a couple of days, except to go to the bathroom and grab food. I've been licking my wounds, disappointed, frustrated, everything under the sun. I'll be honest, this is not what I thought was going to happen. It's not. And I'm sad. And I'm not going to go deeply into all the reasons I'm sad. And I'm not going to go deeply into like why I think this happened. I'm not the person to talk on that, honestly. And I realize the privilege that I even get to say that I got to stay in bed for a couple of days, that I didn't have to immediately go back to work and put a smile on and deal with possibly a bunch of coworkers who are jerks. It's a privilege because I am a white woman in the society. It's a privilege because I am not worried about abortion care at this point in my life. But I'm a fucking human that exists in this society and wants that to be available to all. I'm going to say something controversial here. I feel like women just got smacked down. I feel like what we just saw in this election was you're getting too loud. You're trying to be too powerful. You're asking for too fucking much. And we're going to make sure that you know your place. I don't know about you, but when shit goes bad for me, I shut down. That's what I do. I just told you that I numbed out in bed. I watched Australian TV shows. I literally comfort ate Twizzlers, some Funyuns. Ooh, I had Ben and Jerry's, my favorite fish food. Danny was an amazing partner because he was, of course, also upset. And just was really supportive of, babe, take some time. This is devastating. He was able to have a couple days off with me, luckily right after. So we both just were like, we're going to just grieve right now. We're going to mourn what the fuck just happened. That's what I tend to do. I tend to isolate. I tend to shut down. I tend to curl up and hope the world goes away. That's what I used to do. And I do still for a little bit of a time. Now, where that's different now is at maybe my 30s, I'd be down for a while. I wouldn't reach out to people. I never I'm not an ignorer of texts or messages, but I will just say, "Hey, I'm just quiet right now," or "I'm just taking some time." It's scary to feel pain in front of other people. It's scary to show where we're hurting or where you're struggling because life in society sometimes teaches us that people can take that information and make the pain bigger, use it against you. And let's be honest, that's one of the shittiest parts of humanity. I saw something recently where it said, you don't have to agree with everybody, but let's not sink each other's boats. And I really liked that. Let's not purposefully try to hurt and destroy other people. Somewhere by this weekend, when I decided to not be in bed anymore, and I finally went back on social media a little bit because that was not going to be my safe space. And after the sadness and the licking of wounds and the self-soothing and the everything else, I started to get mad. I started to get angry at what had happened and what it means to be a woman, particularly in this country right now, but in a lot of places in the world. I was angry because I feel like, how dare we ask for the rights that men have always had? How dare us ask for partners who have put in some kind of emotional self-work? How dare us ask people to meet us halfway in the emotional, mental, or physical workload that so many women take on in this society? How dare us? That's what this is about. And something happened over this weekend where I went from sad, crying, emotionally eating to angry, pissed off, a little bit feral, and fucking ready. And it's now Thursday, and I have thoughts. I think I even have some answers of where we go from here. Because that was the biggest thing, was just going, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? And I've been inspired by the fight in people, because I needed a little bit of time, who are not taking any of this sitting down. And it's a little strange being a Gen X woman in this space, because I feel like so many of us are still pushing through our belief systems to what we have been taught or conditioned versus what we actually think and believe. In fact, I'm pretty sure that there's a probably pretty large group of Gen X women who did not vote for women in this election. We have been taught so many mixed up, unhelpful beliefs that it's like we are in a war with our own mind. Because in one moment, my brain will feel strong and empowered and proud to be a woman. And in the next, I'll find myself thinking or doing something to make sure that people in my life are happy or feeling better than I am, or making sure that Danny's needs are met before my own. It's a constant battle in there that I've gotten better soothing, but just letting go of this bullshit. What do we do? As I mentioned, I love to isolate. I feel like the younger version of me would maybe just come out in a few months or after winter and be like, okay, I'm here now. But I'm not going to do that. I think that this work is more important than ever. I think that we just lost to fear. And I'm here to help people build love and self-worth and connection and community and joy and whatever was voted. First reminder, nobody can fucking take that shit away from you. They can make things hard. They can make things shitty. They can make things inconvenient. But nobody can take away your joy. Nobody can take away your community. Nobody can take away how you feel about yourself. This has put a fucking fire underneath me the last couple of days because I know that what I do works. I know that what I do helps. I know that what I do makes a difference. So sometimes I need to lay down and eat comfort food in bed, but this bitch will rise. Rise with me. I'm not saying you have to go to every protest. I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is number one, let's get back to you because you can't fight back. You can't be the badass, amazing, wonderful mentor to younger women and men and everything in between that this country needs right now when you don't feel good about yourself, when you don't feel strong or empowered enough and in alignment enough of what your beliefs and mindsets are to get up every day and help. Because let me just remind you that the best way to push back, the best revenge is getting happy and leading a good life. That's the number one way that we push back. That we say, I see you trying to take things away from me. I see you trying to control what women do, and I'm not fucking taking it. The best revenge is a life fully lived. The best revenge is to go out of your way to find your joy and connection. The best revenge is to live a beautiful life full of happiness and love and community. This is all we get. We get one stinking life. This is it. What are you doing with it? But right now, if you are feeling shitty and you don't know how to get out of this, get help, get support, because we need you more than ever. Not even fighting the good fight, but bringing love and care to this world, bringing strength through your choices and your determination. So the number one thing is get your support team, get them in place. Who are your people who can hear you, who can see you, who can celebrate you, who can laugh with you and cry with you and everything else with you? Whether you're in a relationship or not, we all need this kind of a support team. And that can be friends, that can be family members, it's not always. It can be your therapist, it can be your coach, it can be your personal trainer. It can be 1,000 different people that help you feel strong enough and happy enough to take on each day through what could be 4 years of total crap. We have to take care of our side of the street. We have to take care of ourselves if we're going to be strong enough to help others. Here's where we've been fucked. We've been fucked because we were told that our role, particularly as women, is to help support and take care of other people. Now, that's not a bad thing. That's a beautiful fucking thing. Being helpful, being supportive, being kind. This is what the world needs right now. But what we didn't tell women to do is also learn how to take care of themselves, how to set boundaries, how to say no, how to make sure that you feel good enough that you can actually give back in a positive way and not feel resentful and not feel pissed off and not burn ourselves out so deeply that we can't get out of bed. To get through the next 4 years of this shit is get strong in who we are, what we believe, and how to take care of ourselves so that when we're ready to be and help and support in this world, we are doing it from a place of love and kindness and giving. That we are able to step in, because I can promise you that just your 40 years of life or 50 years of life or wherever you're at, you can be a mentor. You can be a gift. You can be a helper to somebody younger than you. Your life experiences, if you have healed and worked through them, are a gift to others, even the shittiest ones. Because the last thing we really need right now is to isolate and shut down. What we need right now is love, compassion, empathy towards ourselves, towards the people that we care about in our lives, so that we can keep showing up in whatever way that you want to or need to show up to feel good about making a difference. And this is a huge part of positive psychology that I don't think we talk about a lot, which is if you don't feel like you know your meaning or purpose, life can feel really listless. It can feel we're just flailing out here every day. Happy people can look at themselves in the mirror at the end of the day because they know that what they did gave back and they're proud of themselves. They put time and energy and thought into what they are giving back to this world, and they're proud of it. Meaning and purpose, especially at this time in our lives, when maybe our kids are going out the door, maybe we didn't have the epic relationship we thought we were going to have, or family. That doesn't mean you don't have a ton to give. It doesn't mean that you don't have a ton to role model even. And by the way, role modeling good and healthy behavior is $0. It takes zero of your time, and it's just living a healthier life so that the younger generations can see you and know how to do it themselves. You and I both know if you had a parent or parents who did not take care of themselves or each other in that relationship, there's probably a very good chance that you learned that you shouldn't take care of yourself either, and you're taking care of others in the relationship. We just do the same things we've seen over and over until we break that cycle. Break that cycle with me. Break that cycle. The second thing you need to do, you need to get community. We love to isolate. We love to shut down. That's what they want us to do. My business coach gave me a bitch slap earlier this week, and I loved it. I literally sang to her over my phone to thank her. By the way, if you work with me, I sing to you over the phone, awkwardly, but with a lot of fucking hearts. But when the world can feel hopeless, when things feel exhausting, we want to naturally hunker down and push people away. And science has proven again and again that is the opposite of what we should do. Right now, we need to find our communities more than ever. We need to find our people where we have safe little spaces online or in real life that you can be you. That is so much more important than ever. I'm going to make it easier for you. So the last couple of days in this what now space, because honestly, I thought people are stressed out about the election. And once the election happens, and then hopefully the results will go my way, and then people will be excited, and then hopefully maybe join Thrive. I've been pretty lackadaisical for the last few weeks because we are all dealing with just an overwhelm and pounding of this election and what was going on and everything else. And it was a lot. So when did it happen? And there was the bedtime and there everything else and the anger time. I then had to go, now what? So I've done a couple of things over here. Going off of some feedback from some very special grads and clients. I created a different version of Thrive. Same program, same everything. I've made the retreats optional so that more people can get this support and community, because that's what, to me, the best part of Thrive is that this small community of myself and these other women who are growing, who are evolving, who are working on themselves, who are supporting, who are celebrating with you, that shit's priceless. And a while ago, Loa, who is a life coach, but one of the things she said to me a while ago was, you know what your number one skill really is? And I'm like swearing, I don't know. And she's like, community. She's like, these women are incredible. And you have created a space safe enough where they feel like they can really be themselves and be really great for each other. It's not competitive. It's not shitty. People aren't bitching at each other. You guys have been in some like online or offline communities. It's rough. That's not how I run my shit at all. We are there for kindness and support. We are there to hear each other and lend an ear. We are there for absolute love and connection in a way that community needs to be. Because we use the word community and friendship a lot, but I hear about a lot of people's communities and their friends, and they're not very nice. So to me, we need a community where we feel emotionally safe. So that means we know we can say and won't be shut down or not heard. That means that our feelings aren't going to be hijacked every time we come on a call or wherever we're at, because we know that's a safe enough space for people to speak and be heard and be respected. We need a community where we feel supported. I'll tell you this, I've talked to a couple people the last couple days whose lives are blowing up, and this election is the least of their problems. What a fucking privilege that this is like the shittiest part of my life right now. It's not actually, but one of. I know people who are like, yeah, it's rough, but it's the least of my problems right now. And I'm like, I get it. I'm so sorry. Communities where you feel supported when you're struggling, where you get to express what you're feeling, and people come in and say, I'm really sorry that's happening to you. I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And maybe they might even be like, you know what? Something similar happened to me. You're not alone. Do you know how powerful the words "you're not alone" are? Do you know how much I think that this world would change if we started using those 3 words more often? We all feel alone. And when you feel alone, you get mad. You feel like the world is out to get you. You feel like either you suck or they suck. And why would we ever want to do something nice for another person? They're not doing anything nice for me. Why should that person get something that I didn't get? What kind of society are we building from those places? Now imagine the society that was built from things like, I hear you, that's tough. I'm so sorry that's happening to you. You're not alone. A good community is where your successes are celebrated and cheered on. I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of shitty friends out there who are jealous of other people's successes. They may smile for a minute and be like, oh, good for you, and then quietly resent people. I'm not going to tell you that person's not your friend, but that person's a conditional friend. For sure. Because being in a friendship or community where there's a growth mindset, which all of mine are, by the way, we celebrate other people's successes, knowing that it's encouragement and inspiration for our own. And if you have people who are not celebrating your successes, then what are we doing? Are they friends? Community where laughter is abundant and encouraged. A lot of the shit I talk about is deep. And it can bring things up, and it can be like, why has this happened to me? Or why is the world like this? I think you know from this podcast, silly and a bit ridiculous. I sing out loud in public. I may have momentary dance moments. I'm a little quirky. I'm a little weird. And at this point, I'm just fucking embracing it. But I'm really fun as a leader. I keep things a little bit lighter. I share funny memes and videos. I make sure that there is laughter along with the work, the process. We need community where we are focused on moving forward. It's not that you can't have a community that is just supportive and you go out, you hang out, and maybe you have some wine or whatever, and you laugh for a couple hours. But ultimate communities that are really strong and wonderful and help us, they're learning and growing together. They're moving their lives incrementally in the smallest ways together. We need a community where we get to be ourselves and be truly heard and truly seen. I'll be honest, that's a lot of people out there. I talk to people who you would never know it by seeing them or passing them on the street, who do not have one person in their life who truly knows them. That is the literal definition of loneliness. We should all get to have a space or a place where we feel heard, where we feel seen, where we feel respected and acknowledged. And if we grew up with kind of a crap family or struggling with self-worth, we may not have those friendships. Self-care is a beautiful thing and a great conversation and something that's really important. But what's also as important, if not even more, is community care. Sometimes the answer isn't more bubble baths or boundaries. Sometimes it's fucking people. The right people. I can't change the election results. I can't. But I can offer you a safe place to land during a weird and confusing and disappointing time, let alone throw on top of it possibly perimenopause or hormone changes, aging parents, kids moving out, possibly divorce or relationships changing or just dating because that's hard. It's okay. And not only is it okay, it's imperative at this point in time. If you're going to even just survive, to have support and community. But I think we need this work more than ever. And if you're not sure, get on the phone with me, send me an email, send me a text. I put the number right on the page, thrivemidlifeprogram.com. So you could actually text me and say, hey, I'm still thinking about this, or I'm not sure about that. I'll tell you, or we'll jump on a phone, or I'll send you a voicemail. These are all things I do. I work for my clients. And this will be the majority of the work I do next year. So you will have me up your ass in the kindest and best way for 9 months. I'm going to be the voice of reason when you need it. I'm going to be the pep talk when you're having a tough day. I'm going to cheer and support you on the times when it's important. I just want to change people's lives and help them. And I literally have the skills and the time and the energy to do it right now. Please take advantage of it. Please know that you are worth spending this money on, that your sanity, that your support, that community is worth that, because it is. And because all of this is happening, I've decided to make it even easier for you. I created an essential version of Thrive that make the retreats optional. And through this weekend, you will actually be able to get a payment plan of $4.99 a month. I know that's still a lot for a lot of people, but I know some people can afford that. And I hope you check it out. Come over, check out the site, thrive.midlifeprogram.com, see what I've done, see what I'm offering, see the amazing price points, and fucking do it. There are limited spots available, so do it. Why not? You now know what next year is going to be like. Let's make it better. I still back up that it can be the best fucking year of your life, even when the world feels like it's on fire. That's it, guys. That's it for today. In 2025, if you're ready to change your life, change it with me. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this. I'm so excited. If you liked this, please subscribe. I don't always put things out weekly. Sometimes I put things out 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll have a week and a half to 2 weeks in between. So subscribe so you know exactly when things go live. Finally, if you really love it, please leave a review. Whether it's just some stars on Apple or Spotify, or really writing down what you are learning and loving about this podcast. I read every single one. They fucking make my day. You are the wind beneath my wings. And it helps get it out there. Because honestly, as much as I can say this, for as much feedback I get about this podcast, which is a lot, and most of it all very positive, except for the people who don't like my swearing and don't fucking care. Even if you never share this with another person, by you writing an anonymous review, that lets other people know this might be something that they want to check out. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. No more surviving. Let's thrive.